Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing a Corgi Junior's 1957 Ford Thunderbird. It was a bit difficult to find any info on this particular model, but I believe they were produced around 1980. They seem to have made red ones and yellow ones and black ones. So I'll just take this one off the turntable and have a closer look at it. It's pretty grubby. Looks like it's been in a sand pit, I'd guess. Missing a bit of paint there. Its wheels aren't too bad. It's got a nice metal base on it. It's a little bit oxidized. The windscreen's pretty opaque there. It's got a nice opening bonnet with a little motor in it. Let's crack on and get it restored. So I'll start out by drilling out the posts, the outies, so I make some little notches with a round bit on my rotary tool, and then I can drill them out. And then I can take off the bottom. It's got this big plastic bumper section here. The interior's in two parts. And so there's the car body. You can't take the bonnet off, so I'll strip that with some paint stripper. There's all the paint wrinkling away, and then I can wash it off with some water, and this is how it came out. It's actually pretty clean looking casting. I give it a going over with the wire brush on my Dremel. This will get rid of any oxidation and those little scraps of paint that are still on there. And here it is after burnishing, looking nice and shiny now, just about ready for paint. But before I do that, I'll just drill and tap those posts so I can put it together later on with some little button head screws. There we go, she's good to go. So I start out by painting it with some white primer. I was pretty tempted to repaint it red, but I figured I'd go for a change, and so I've painted my Thunderbird in sky blue. And I just did a little bit of detailing on this and then hit it with some gloss clear. We'll move on to the interior. It's pretty grubby. I'll give it a wash with some hot soapy water. There we go, it's looking pretty clean now. But then I noticed that in my obviously overzealous washing, I've managed to break that steering wheel there. So I had to find a replacement steering wheel and glue it on. Now I could move on and paint them. I started with some grey primer, and then I painted them blue. It's a slightly different blue than the sky blue. And I'm also going to paint the engine section here in steel. And so here's the bumper section. It's also got that top part of the engine there on it. I guess it's the air cleaner or something. I'm going to strip the chrome off of this with some caustic soda and some hot water. There we go, you can see the chrome disappearing off that in a few seconds. And I give it a rinse in some fresh water, and this is how it looked. Then I gave it an undercoat of black and I painted it in Vallejo metal colour chrome. I print out some little license plates here, a bit different sizes for the front and back, and then I've glued them on to the bumpers. Onto the base now. It's got a nice patina on it, kind of, but it's pretty grubby. First of all, I'll take these old wheels and axles out, because I'm going to be replacing those. And then I give it a good clean up with the wire brush on my rotary tool. I'm not going to paint this one, as I think it's perfectly fine like it is. It's got quite a nice sort of patina on it. There we go. After burnishing, it's looking nice and shiny now. And one other thing I'm going to do is drill out the axle holes, because the axles I'm going to use are a bit too large to go through them as they were. Here is the windscreen. Luckily it's not broken. It's a little bit yellow. If I'd had a couple of days up my sleeve, I might have tried retro brighting it, but it's not too bad, I think. I'll give it a going over with some 2000 grit sandpaper, and then it's given a vigorous polishing with some plastic polish. And this is how it came out. I think that's looking pretty clear and shiny now. And finally, the old wheels. They're actually in pretty decent nick, I guess, compared to the rest of it. But anyway, I'm going to be replacing them with these green light ones. These came from a Ford pack. I did actually have some ones that would have suited it a bit better, I think, but they were just so low quality. The white lines were all wonky and the hubs were all sort of crap, basically. Anyway, I'm just going to cut off these little spaces on the back of them. And here we go. Here are all the parts of our little Corgi Ford Thunderbird, refurbished, repainted and ready to go back together. So while I'm reassembling that in another corner of the room, let's just take a moment to look back and be reminded of what we started with. Our grubby little Thunderbird. Looks like it's been for a dip in the sand pit. Missing plenty of paint there. It's got a pretty crappy looking opaque windscreen. Definitely no state for such a classic old car. And here it is, our finished, restored and customised Corgi 1957 Ford Thunderbird. Repainted in a nice sky blue, a deep blue interior. It's had the bumpers and stuff re-chromed. It's been detailed. It's had that windscreen made nice and shiny and clear. And it's got a nice new set of aftermarket wheels on it. So I think our little T-Bird is perhaps ready to go back out on the road for a summer day's cruise. You can let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Now I'd like to say thanks and welcome to my latest Patreon supporter, Martin Simon. Thank you so much, Martin. I really appreciate the support. And to all of my other Patreon supporters, thanks heaps, guys. I really appreciate it. I've actually just been letting the money build up in there, and once there's enough, I'm going to buy something really cool for the channel. It's probably going to be a 3D printer, but I'm going to ask my Patreons what they'd like to see. Thanks heaps to everybody else for supporting the channel, the great comments and likes on my videos. If you'd like to help out more, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link in the description below. Thanks heaps for watching this video. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you'd like to see more similar stuff, remember to subscribe and click the bell. Give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.